Chop, cut, rebuild. Real cars. Real techs. Real deadlines. Hosted by Dan Woods. Chop, cut, rebuild.
This is Chop, Cut, Rebuild. When we think about something being made out of steel, we usually think that it's pretty strong, but the reality is steel can be quite flexible and malleable and noisy. So heat, sound, and strength were three things that needed to be resolved, and they couldn't be resolved with one product. That is until Tim McCarthy came along from HushMat.
How are you, Dan?
I'm good.
Great to see you.
So you started selling this how long ago?
25 years ago.
So you're just new to the game, right?
Yeah, we're a new kid on the block.
And you started out just selling straight sheets, one size, and people just ordered up what they need.
That's exactly right.
So what's different now?
Now we've come up with custom vehicle kits. We have over 500 vehicles where we've packaged the material specific for that make, model, and year.
And I'm assuming 67 Chevelle is one of the ones that you have.
As a matter of fact, we do.
Okay.
We've got it laid out over here on the floor. Let me show you.
All right.
I'm Tim McCarthy. I'm the founder and president of HushMat. People desire quiet. What they don't know is how to get it. And that's the reason that we branded the product and took it to the automotive aftermarket, and starting with the car audio market back in the early 2000s.
Hey, Steve.
How you doing, Tim?
Good.
Hey, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
So this is your kit?
This is the custom vehicle kit for the Chevelle.
Okay. So what are we looking at here? What are these panels?
You're looking at from the tip of the firewall all the way back through the trunk.
So the last 5 are the trunk pieces?
Exactly right.
Okay.
Sal's painter, Steve, was the person chosen to work with me here today, and he doesn't have a tremendous amount of experience installing these types of materials, so we worked very closely together today, and he picked it up just like that. He saw how simple the installation was. So we'll work from this seam line and then work our way back through the vehicle.
Okay.
And basically peel this back, start on that straight edge, and then Steve, we can come up here and then work our way across. As we peel the release paper back, we'll bond it to the floor pan.
My name is Stephen Brown, and I work at American Muscle Cars doing body and paint and little etc. Tim showed me the process that was basically pretty simple, which was just peel and stick. Maybe start off with a 6-inch strip peel of the paper and get yourself started and basically go from there.
You got your end?
I'm good. I may have to take a knee.
Yeah, let me know if you need to put it down. Okay. Wow. Tim, there you go.
Jeez.
Look, we know it's not that heavy.
My name is Sal Perez, owner of American Muscle Cars. We use HushMat exclusively. It's a fine product. We find it does the best to keep out sound and heat from the inside of the car.
After the first sheet of HushMat was put in on the passenger side, we went to the driver's side and installed another one of the same size, and then from there, we ended up covering the center hump.
One of the best features of these new vehicle-specific kits is larger sheets, which cover more area. In the past, you needed multiple sheets or partial sheets to cover just one side of the floor pan.
Today on the Chevelle, we chose to do the floor pan and the trunk. When we got to the trunk area, we used 3 of the 5 sheets of product that are designated for the trunk. And the reason for that is there's additional fabrication work that's going to be done on those rear quarter panels, and we didn't want the product to interfere with it.
Tim, this is a great brochure you guys have got.
Thanks, Dan.
This is your core product, but you have a whole bunch of other stuff too, right?
We do. We do. We manufacture this in 2 colors, silver and black. And then we've got our Silencer Megabond product, which is an underlayment for on top of the Ultra. The first thing you do in every vehicle is Ultra. Then you put the underlayment on top, carpet on top of that. It replaces the old jute.
Okay.
I can't wait to see this 67 Chevelle at SEMA. It'll be our 13th year at SEMA, and it's something that I'm just very excited about, to see this when it's done on the show floor at SEMA in Las Vegas.
That just fits in there like that.
Fits perfect.
It's great, but it's not quite fitting here for... Oh, that's why. This is Chop, Cut, Rebuild. Good painters know you can't rush quality. Paint applied to uncured primer is a formula for failure. Yes, it'll look good for a few days or months, but primer needs to cure, paint needs to cure, and there's no cure like time. So when wrinkles and cracks start, point a finger at the rush, not the brush. You've been getting into some chemicals since I was here last.
We sprayed gallons of the stuff since you were here, Dan.
This is outstanding.
We're making some good progress. Gary Pulse, I'm the Street Rod and Custom Fabrication, Off-Road Power, and Special Projects Coordinator for Wyotech in Laramie, Wyoming. Today we started off putting the crews together. We had a trim and upholstery crew came in, and then I had a couple students from the Street Rod class that we brought together to start working on getting the truck going for today's events.
Okay, I'm Mac McDonald. I'm an instructor at the Trim and Upholstery Department here at Wyotech Laramie. Got a pretty good feel for this operation, and we love doing what we're doing out here.
What do you got the guys doing here?
We got them quieting down the inside of this cabin. We're putting a little bit of sound deadener made by HushMat. That'll deaden that steel ping noise that you might get inside of a cab like this.
Okay, so what group do you want to assign me to? The upholstery guys or the panels?
Well, it's pretty tight inside there, so 3 might be a crowd.
Okay.
We need to start putting the bed back together. The wood's ready to go, the fenders are ready to hang.
All right, so no metal at all for me today. Good.
Yeah, we can't scratch it either. The wood kit came from LMC. It's an oak product. It's already planed, it's grooved, and ready to go in other than final sanding.
So how do you know which one of these goes to the front or the back?
They've got a notch on the back for where the stainless trim is going to end up at. So.
Okay. So like that, and there's a number on these.
Yeah, we pre-assembled it, so that should be number 2. It goes 1 to 7.
Okay.
When we put the first strips of wood into the bed, we had to make a couple clearances around the carriage bolts up front. One of the bigger things we ran into was there's a stainless steel 90-degree channel that goes on the back that caps the end of the boards off. And we found out that from the factory, it would have been about a 1/4 inch too long and leave a gap there, so we addressed that later in the day.
But what about this little gap here?
I'd like to tighten that up a little bit. What do you think?
So trim the front here?
Yeah, trim the back of the board, slide it back.
Then we're going to lose a little real estate up there in the cab, right?
Yep.
But you've got the big tank up there. It's going to cover most of that visually. So you could buy that much real estate up there.
Absolutely.
Or maybe even split the difference a little bit.
I was pleased with the way the strips turned out. We had to do a little relief cut on the mill to flange over the top of the stainless steel end cap. But it's a nice clean installation. You don't see the ends. I'm really pleased with the choice we made in that.
This floor kit from LMC has an outstanding feature. The only place you'll see bolt heads are on the painted sides. The metal dividers will have no exposed hardware, making the box floor look smoother and cleaner.
There you go.
Thank you.
Is that the last piece, Clint?
That is.
Wow, you guys did a wonderful job.
Thank you.
So you got the roof, back wall, the floor, the firewall, the A-pillars, everything's done.
One of the things that Dan requested for us to do when we were installing the HushMat was to get all the HushMat labels nice and square and pretty. We tried to do the best. There were some angles which got him a little cockeyed, but for the most part.
If I told him it would be covered in carpet, it would have lowered his stress level, but taken from his success level.
So Dan comes dragging this box in, and it's about the size of a drive shaft, but it felt like there really wasn't anything in it. Turns out it was American Powertrain aluminum drive shaft.
Wow, guys, that is absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful, professional looking, nice job.
Thank you. It really came out nice.
And even though you covered the floor, I haven't forgotten that we still need to install the drive shaft.
We were eager to get that thing installed. It's been a thing we haven't had for quite a while, and the truck is getting built around this. You know, the exhaust is next to it, the bed's now on it, the cab's on it, the transmission's in it. So we were eager to get that in, and luckily it fit everything. We had to jostle around a little bit to clear the suspension, but all is good. The fender installation was fairly simple. We had a welting, which is a vinyl that goes between the rear fenders and the bed sides. We inserted the stainless steel studs through the bed sides, and really it was just a matter of walking the fenders over, lining up the holes, and putting on the hardware.
Now in Canada, they would say that this is okay.